to the video today, guys. I'm gonna be doing a demo on how to set up an air pump. Also explaining, I'm gonna do something on the goldfish system. I'm adding a secondary filtration. Again, you guys know I love filtration. I like to keep the water clean. More filtration, more filtration, more filtration. So first thing I'm gonna choose, the Aquarium Co-op battery operated air pump. These things are awesome. Whenever you lose the power, it goes into battery operations, which is awesome. If you're home, there's actually a power saver where it pulses the bubbles in there. If you're not there, it'll just be at a lower speed, but it'll still give you oxygen in the tank. But let's get started on how to set up an air pump. So first thing is that. And these are kind of the essentials that I recommend using for it. So one thing cool about this one, you can adjust the speed on this. Some air pumps you can't, so you're gonna want a valve for it. Again, this just adjusts the bubbles. Some people don't like the noise of the bubbles, you can adjust it down. But the more bubbles you have in the tank, the better it's gonna be. Next thing I'm gonna do is the Hygger Bio Sponge Filter. There's a lot of different options for sponge filters, but I really like this one because it also has a sponge and it has biomedia, just to keep the bacteria in the tank. Again, this is a secondary filtration. In our goldfish, we have an FX4 running on there, but just in case, you never know. What if your FX4 fails? You always have an extra filter. Other thing, tubing. It comes in two different colors. You can do clear or black. I like to do black just so you don't see the algae growth. Sometimes if you use medication, it may make it turn blue. One really important thing is a check valve. What a check valve does, it prevents back siphoning. Sometimes if your air pump loses power, again, this is battery operated, so it can keep it going, but just in case if you lose the power, you'll get reverse siphon and water can go into your air pump. It will keep draining water till this stops or when it gets air. But again, check valves are super important to do. I'm gonna show you guys how to set up everything, so let's get started. So one thing cool about the Aquarium Co-op one, it actually already comes powered on. So we'll turn it on to the power save. So the light will turn blue. That's a power save mode. So it'll start working, then it'll stop. It actually lasts double the time when you do that. So one thing with air pumps, the one question I always get in the store, is it quiet? Honestly, I've never seen an air pump quiet. There are some, but they don't work well. They're not strong enough. So it does hum a little bit. I mean, if you put it underneath the stand, you really won't hear it. You put it on top of the tank, yeah, you're gonna hear it. But usually in the stand, once you close the doors, it muffles the sound a lot. So first step, this always goes on the outside of the tank. Next thing is tubing. It's very important to cut the tubing to the sides of the tank. Sometimes when you keep it too long, the pump has to work really hard to pump the air in. Again, if you have a really strong air pump, sometimes you can do that. It'll kind of slow it down a little bit. But again, you have the valve. You don't want to choke the valve too much because you can put back pressure on the air pump and it won't make it last as long. Again, these are just all pressure fitting. If you have a hard time getting it in, you can always soak the tube in hot water or slide it in. They do make it a little bit bigger just so you can jam it in so it's a tight fit. So, normally I like to put the check valve outside the tank so you don't see inside the tank. All you do is just cut it right in half. So normally the check valve has an arrow on there pointing air going in. If you put it backwards, it's not gonna work correctly. You can always test it by just blowing into it. Just like that. Actually, normally, my fault. So if you ever want to put a valve in there, you actually want to put it before the check valve just in case, because if you do it after, water can still seep out of here and drip and cause a big mess. So again, just run this. Just make sure it's locked in just like so. Make sure the valve is open. And we'll do another splice. Again, just test it just in case. Just like so. Last thing, just because it's a demo, I haven't tested it on the aquarium. I'll cut it to size when I get there. So the Hygger has extra biomedia. Always, never hurts, extra biomedia in the tank. This is the Hygger sponge filter. Sponge on my bottom, bio on top. You can actually suction cup it to the back so it looks nice and clean, or you can put it down and hide it behind a decoration, whatever you like. So it just slides out just like that. You always want to rinse the biomedia before putting it in. If you don't, it just gets a little dusty. So has a separator cap, so you can take it out, rinse it. One thing, whenever you clean these sponge filters out, always use old tank water. Never use tap water because you will kill the bacteria. It's so little, I mean, anything helps. You just never want to put ammonia in the tank. So again, just goes like that. Set the biomedia. Slide it back into place. The riser, there's a little hole right here. Again, just like that. That's literally the full setup. You have the suction cup. So with the suction cups locks in, you just want to twist it, so it locks it in. Cool. And also want to show you guys some other options, just in case if you don't want the Hygger, if it's bulky. We have a lot of different size sponge filters, are great to run. Again, air stones aren't bad. Just my logic, if we're gonna be running something like an air stone, why not filter the water? So that's why I'm really big fans of sponge filters. I just really like this one because it has a biomedia in it. If not, you can just use a sponge. These are awesome, polishes up the water really well. You can squeeze it out, put it back in. A lot of our air supplies are over here. We have the Aquarium Co-op weighted ones. Very good to have. Some of these other ones are light, so they may float up in the tank, so it may not look as good, but you can also use these for something inside a decoration just to kind of start some bubbles in there. Water agitation never hurts. We have all the tubing here, like what I was saying. There's also a clear version. Looks awesome. It just gets really dirty with the light and algae growing on it. We have different air pump styles. We have stuff for small tanks. I like the Aquarium Co-op again because you can adjust it. He makes a dual outlet one, so if you want to run multiple tanks or if your tank's really big, you can run one left, one right. We carry the Hygger. These ones are like super strong. We run this one in our monster fish tank. We run the single one in our 20 gallons in the back. But again, this is all our air supplies in the store. So we're here at the goldfish tank. Let's get it started. I'm gonna leave this out so you guys can see how the battery operate, like the power backup works on it. So I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna put it in the tank and I'll show you guys. I normally put it on the opposite side of the filtration just so the water over here gets moving. So I just hung it on back and you can see the bubbles already working. Not plugged in, but once you plug it in, so that's exactly how you set it up. I'm gonna put it underneath this cabinet over here so you don't hear it, you don't see it. But again, like what I was saying, we have an FX4 in here. You can never over filter, especially we have goldfish in the system. Now I have water moving over here and now I have extra oxygen for them. Thanks again for watching the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. See you guys on the next video.